Well, Lagos State Internal Revenue Service says all businesses and employers of labor must file their annual tax returns on or before January the 31st of this month. So we're going to have a conversation about what that entails, and we're happy to have Mrs. Mojisola Aboyade Cole, who's the head of Relationship Management, the unit at the Lagos Internal Revenue Service. Good morning and Happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining us.
Happy New Year.
Fantastic. Lagos State, that's why it's number one in terms of IGR and so on, because Lagos State makes sure that businesses and so on pay their taxes. I guess, can you take us through a step-by-step of the process of getting that going for businesses that are watching?
Okay, we have an Etax platform. So that is a multi-purpose platform and is digitally run. So for LRS, filing has been done electronically in the last 4 years or more. So there's nothing like manual filing, there's nothing like submitting papers. So like you said in the introduction, that every business owner has to file returns on behalf of their employees. It's the law. So that platform is the platform that will be used to file these returns. So we have 4 major returns that will be filed on the platform. We have the annual returns, the most important one. So the employer will prepare a schedule of all the employees in the organization, their gross income, the designations, annual tax paid, especially the ID number, the specific ID number has to be there, their email address, and their phone numbers, the phone number linked to their NIN. So that schedule will be prepared, and then they will log on to the Etax platform. So every employer definitely has a tax profile. So they'll be able to log on and be able to more or less navigate on the portal and ensure that they download the template. They download the template and they upload the template with the information, the schedule. That schedule is called the Form H1. So once they upload the schedule with the format that is already on the platform, then they just submit. So it's user-friendly, there's no issue. So the next important returns that they have to file is the income projection. So that also has to do with the number of employees that they have, the designation, and then the projected income that they're going to be paid for the year. So that would also be filed, and that would also, there's a template that they would download, upload, submit at the click of a button. And on that portal, there's an office assistant there that will pop up and probably assist those that require assistance. But take note that this has been in existence for 4 years already, so most of the employers of the organization are already used to it and relaxed about it. That is why we're trying to encourage them to file early. Don't leave it to the last minute. So the third one is the withholding taxes. Probably the company has had some withholding tax transactions, audits, contracts. So the schedule also, we'll prepare a schedule of that, the period, the date paid, then the amount paid. You know, want a situation where probably the withholding tax that was paid, we're in 2024 now, there's a possibility that what has been paid is for 2022 or 2021. Probably they have some arrears, but they're just making the payment now. So that has to be properly identified and in the same process. So the last one now, the last returns that will be prepared and uploaded and submitted is the schedule of the remittances. That is all the receipts that have been made for the pay remittances on behalf of the employees. So that the same process would be uploaded on the platform and submitted. And once you submit, you would receive a notification on the platform that you have concluded your returns.
Thank you for the breakdown. So, I'm glad that you said, this has been going on for 4 years as far as the digital. So what was life like before the advent of the embrace of the digital filing by the LIRS?
Basically, we open 9 to 5. So that means between 9 and 5, you file. But now it is digital. So if you're the kind of person that you're an early bird, so if you want to file at 6 a.m., you can file at 6 a.m. If you want to file at midnight, you can file at midnight. And there's nothing like you have to take transportation or get to our office and queue with other people that are filing. It's at the convenience of your office. Once you have a laptop or a tab, wherever you are in the world, this filing is for Lagos State. So there's probability you may be in Abuja. You can file from Abuja. The platform is there available for you to use. Great stuff.
What about, so I know that the deadline is the 31st, right? Which is why you're here early on the 10th talking about this and making sure everyone's aware of it. Is there a possibility of getting extensions and so on? What's the process like for that?
It's a legal obligation. So it's statutory, and there is no provision on the law for extensions. So the only time I know extensions were granted was during the time of COVID.
Right.
COVID and probably when there was a company that was locked up due to the issues of receivership. But even if your company is locked up now or you have issues, everything is online real time. So, and this is the period where you have to ensure that you file your return. So you don't have to make the request for an extension. But if there's something pressing that has caused you to make the request, we have no legal obligation to accede to that. But you can still write. We can still write and we'll still see what we can do to assist. But notwithstanding, we're in the month of January and what we're filing for is 2023. That is the income, the employee's income and the taxes that have been deducted and paid.
Yeah.
So it's, it doesn't spill over into January. It's from January, it doesn't spill over to 2024.
Right.
That is the payment. So it mustn't be late. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
So if you ask for an extension, there's really no basis because we're expecting that you'll have paid all salaries by January 10th latest. But definitely most people will have paid by 31st of December in 2023. Okay.
What about errors? Because you were going through the whole breakdown there, withholding tax, the filings, particularly the fact that you start with annual returns and then finish up with withholding tax and so on and so forth. What if errors are made in the filing? How do you correct that? If a business says, "Oops, they added an extra zero. I didn't mean to pay my CFO ‹1 billion naira as opposed to maybe they're making $1 million.
Well, that's very simple.
Yeah.
Once you can provide evidence that an error was made, probably your CFO is supposed to be on 20 million and someone just pressed some extra zeros and now put to... So, once you can provide the evidence, probably his pay slip, then of course you give us the bank statements, we can see the trend and we can also look at prior years. And of course, when we have your financials, we can look at the turnover of the business. We can also look at wages and salaries, the line item in the AFS. So that will give us a picture of if you are telling the truth or otherwise. So it just depends on the nature of the error. We just want to make sure that you're not trying to evade.
Right. Makes sense. How does the payment process work after you filed your taxes?
Okay. Well, usually we do expect that you will have made the payments before.
Right.
You'll have made all your remittances before.
Yeah.
But notwithstanding, it's still the same Etax platform. Like it's a digital platform, multi-purpose. So there's registration, there's filing, there's creating your tax profile, and there's also payments. The payment solution is also there. So you can use that payment solution to remit what you have that is outstanding on your taxes.
Great stuff. So what about assistance that LIRS provides to businesses? If they need help in anything of any way, shape, or form, how do you guys provide help to businesses?
Okay. We have about 41 tax stations. So, and even in the banking industry, you still have some people that still want to go to the bank. They don't want to conduct their transactions from home or on their phone. So it's the same way. You can still go to the tax stations. You can still go to our head office. The assistance is always there. And then if you are more of an online person, like I said, once you have your profile, you sign on to the portal. There is an office assistant, the technical assistant there that you can chat with. Our customer support is always there. And then we also have etaxinfo@lrs.com. .net. So you can always send an email and copy your account officer because most of the businesses already have account officers that can attend to their needs or inquiries. We're
out of time, but we have to touch on this very quickly. There are penalties, right? If you don't, can you touch on the penalties if one doesn't?
Okay. So there are legal implications, and there's sections 95 and 96 that address the issue of penalties. But for me, the most important penalty is your employees, because if you do not file and upload, your employees will not be able to file their own returns, because we also have a filing system. We also have a filing returns that employees also have to do, and every individual that resides in Lagos also has to file. That deadline is the 31st of March, but it has to start now. Like we believe in starting early. So you find your employees unable to get their tax clearance certificates because you have not filed and you've not uploaded. So those that need the certificates now for the awards that are in school, those that need the certificates for the FX transactions, they cannot conduct these transactions, especially if their only source of income is employee income. It's easier for those that have other sources of income that we're also expecting to file. So that's the major issue. Well, aside that, we have the penalties. We have if there's incorrect filing, we have 20,000 fine. That's the penalty, and then double what is outstanding that has been unpaid.
Oh wow!
Yes. Then we also have 500,000 as a penalty for the business. That is for evasion or underreporting, which is a deliberate act to contravene the law. So we have those two, and then of course conviction of 6 months.
Wow.
Yes, when we take it to court. And then, of course, you have to look at the time value of money.
Yeah.
We have the resources. We have a legal directorate. That is their KPI to go after those who are recalcitrant. But you as a business owner, you don't need that kind of stress. So the best thing is just don't run foul of the law and do what you need to do and do it early.
Follow the rules. Look,
Yes.
very, very informative conversation. Thank you so much, Mrs. Mojisola Aboyade, head of Relationship Management Unit at the LIRS. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.